currents was a conflict between Thomas Edison and the partnership of Nikola Tesla and George Westinghouse, both sides claiming that the form of electricity that they had created was the most convenient and useful: direct current versus alternating current. This vicious conflict of slander and money caused not only innovation and progress, but also the creation of unethical systems of execution and murder.
After the Chicago World Fair was powered by alternating current, the industry compromised, realizing that alternating current was better for long-distance transmission, yet direct current was more suitable for use in smaller, low-voltage devices. Today, in the aftermath of the war, alternating current and direct current semi-peacefully coexist, but we are getting ahead of ourselves. Now, we'll go back to the time before Edison had invented his light bulb to see how the aforementioned conflict came about.
Thomas Edison was born on February 11, 1847 in Millen, Ohio. He invented the first practical incandescent light bulb in 1879 and would go on to hold over 1,000 patents. Wow! In addition to his light bulb, Edison invented the phonograph in 1877, as well as direct current to power it, but direct current was inefficient. Despite this, Edison's light bulbs were still a huge success.
Nikola Tesla was born on July 10, 1856, and immigrated to the United States in 1884. He worked for a short time under Thomas Edison. There was one time when Edison promised Tesla a reward of $50,000 if Tesla would improve Edison's dynamos. As a result, Tesla invented alternating current, which in many ways was an improvement over direct current, Edison's form of electricity. Upon requesting his reward, however, Edison claimed the reward was just a joke, and instead offered a $10 a week raise.
As a result of Edison's joke, Tesla quit his job in 1885 and instead sold his AC patents to George Westinghouse, forming the Westinghouse Electric Company in 1886. A very large benefit of AC was that it could very efficiently change voltage. DC could only change voltage by using DC to power another DC generator, which generated electricity of a different voltage. This system is very inefficient because the electricity used to power the generator is wasted.
AC, as opposed to DC, will constantly change the direction which the current flows. It does this by rotating a magnet near the current very quickly. Magnets have a north and a south pole, with positive and negative charges respectively, and electricity only has a negative charge. When the north end of the magnet with its positive charge is pointing one way, it attracts the electricity and pulls it along the wire. When the south end with its negative charge points that same way, it repels the electricity and pushes it in the opposite direction.
AC can change voltage using a dual electromagnet where a soft iron core has an input and an output wire wrapped around two parts of it. The input wire must be wrapped around the core a different number of times than the output wire for the voltage to change. AC changes direction frequently, so this will create an electromagnetic field around the soft iron core, which has strength dependent on how many times the input wire was wrapped around the core. Thus, the ratio of the number of times the input wire is wrapped around the core to the number of times the output wire is wrapped around the core is equal to the ratio of the input voltage to the output voltage. Minimum energy is wasted in this process.
Because of this and abundant other benefits, AC was successful to the point where it threatened Edison's income from his DC. In turn, Edison launched a campaign to discredit AC by showing its dangers in the hopes of convincing people that DC was safer so he could get more money. The only problem was that AC was actually not any more dangerous than DC was, so Edison had to use misdirection to fabricate claims of fake dangers instead of demonstrating actual ones. This campaign formed most of the War of Currents.
Towards the beginning of the War of Currents, Edison made a rather bold claim that,
"Just as certain as death, Westinghouse will kill a customer within 6 months after he puts in a system of any size."
This was, of course, false, but there was no reason for the people to think it was false. After all, this was an entirely new form of electricity that relied on something sending electricity back and forth really fast. This seemed like it might be dangerous. Edison proceeded to encourage this thinking by publicly showing the dangers of alternating current.
At this time, Edison began electrocuting stray animals with AC to prove how dangerous it was. though really any type of electricity sent directly through an animal would be dangerous, and not just AC. In addition to electrocuting stray animals, Edison also invented the electric chair, using AC, in order to electrocute humans as well, which was first used in 1890 to execute William Kemmler, a convicted murderer.
AC being dangerous was only half true. AC had a significantly higher voltage than DC, making it unsuitable for use in low-voltage applications. However, DC was terribly inefficient at long-distance transmission, which didn't need to worry about having too high of a voltage. Strong wires are designed to handle extremely large amounts of electricity, after all.
In 1892, the General Electric Company was incorporated and acquired all the assets of the Edison General Electric Company, as well as those of two other companies. This meant General Electric owned the rights to direct current, making it a rival of Westinghouse and Tesla's alternating current.
The Chicago World's Fair would be the climax of this war. It would be powered by DC, showing the world that DC was perfect for everyday use, or it would be powered by AC, which would show the world that AC was at least as good as useful as DC. DC bid to power the fair for around $1 million in today's money. AC's bid was half that.
But Edison had not given up yet. General Electric refused to sell the light bulbs to Westinghouse, who needed light bulbs if he was going to light up the fair. The Westinghouse Electric Company had to develop their own light bulbs, and in a pretty short time frame. So they did. Looked like AC had finally won the war of currents.
And AC mostly had. In 1895, Tesla built an AC generator that used the current of Niagara Falls. But Edison still did not give up. In 1903, he electrocuted Topsy the elephant on video and in front of 1,500 people, broadcasting to America that AC was dangerous. But he failed. People still use AC.
Today, AC is used nearly everywhere in long-distance wires for transmitting electricity, but DC is still used inside homes and in low-voltage devices such as battery chargers and automotive applications. And, contrary to Edison's claims, evidence shows that AC is actually safer than DC in some ways. If the war of currents had a winner, it would be Tesla, but the evidence shows that there may not have been a winner at all.